The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, here we are with Labour in their 4th year of opposition and their 3rd leader, and they still don't get it. They still don't understand where New Zealand's values are at. No lessons, quite frankly, have been learned. The faux horror that we've been hearing, members, at welfare reforms, the faux horror, the mock shame, the sort of the distress that we heard yesterday, very meekly from the opposition, quite frankly, says to me they have no idea where New Zealanders' values are at when it comes to welfare and their expectations of a government in that. We've had 2 questions, members, 2 questions from the opposition on welfare this year. Yep, 2 questions as exactly how important they think the biggest reforms are for this country. Yesterday we had Grant Robertson calling National's welfare reforms a culture of blame. Let's be really clear, Labour's record is simply one of shame when it comes to welfare and dependency and beneficiaries in this country. And let's be quite frank. So in a time of the 2000s of labour shortages, ladies and gentlemen, we did see the unemployment benefit drop down. Where'd they go? We saw the sickness benefit go up by 51% in that time. 51% the sickness benefit went up, and during that same time the invalids benefit went up by more than 47%. Simply moving people from the unemployment benefit and onto the sickness and the invalids is not actually helping people to move forward in this country, and it is simply as that. And the excuses we heard from Labour at that time as to why we had a burgeoning number of people on the invalids benefit in particular was that was what was happening internationally, and it was all because of what's happening and we can't help it. Well, let me be quite clear. Under National, the invalids benefit, and what, as we know, has been the worst recession the world has seen since World War II, the invalids benefit has gone up. Invalids benefit in that time, 0.3%. Yeah, 0.3%. So just to give a little bit of context around that, let's be quite frank, because remember in the 2000s when Labour were there, as they moved people from the unemployment benefit onto the invalids, where they would not be work tested and they simply could, simply not looking there, because that's too hard to deal with, is what we heard from Labour, we saw that number burgeoning by nearly over 50%. Under National, it simply has not gone up, and that's an indication of good policy and good management. Good policy and good management. So if one cares about people, one will be actually putting the right kind of policy and the right kind of support around them to move them into work. Make a key difference in those people's lives. Shoving them onto the invalids benefit and ignoring them, spending no money on them, not even acknowledging that they are most likely to be on that benefit for the longest time is, quite frankly, disgraceful, and is a culture of shame that the Labour Party should be living by. So let's just deal with some of those facts. We constantly are hearing about how numbers have been bouncing around. I'll tell you one thing, the numbers on the unemployment benefit may be higher than anyone in this country would want to see, but they are the true, honest, transparent numbers, which is not what we saw under Labour. Simply shoving people from one benefit to another so they do not have to be work tested is shameful. So we will stand up, we will know that as better managers of the welfare system, putting the right policies in place that back them is absolutely the right thing to do and will fundamentally make a change in those people's lives. We hear constantly from the opposition that they don't like our youth reforms. Well, we're going to back young people, we are going to back them into work, we're going to put the support around them that they so desperately need and did not get under that Labour opposition.
Order. Now, order. Just before I call the honourable member, over recent years this applause has become traditional in this House, but for goodness sake, we have to have stamping as well. I say to members, please, a little more reasonable. Grant Robertson.
Mr. Speaker, the only place young people in New Zealand are being backed by that minister